There is a version of you who is stuck in the past. And that version of you is holding on to your power. And as long as she is holding it, it is going to be so difficult, my friend, for you to rise, for you to fully own your power. Welcome back to the Cosmic Mystic. My name is Danny Simonis here, where we blend strategy and soul work and sacred practices to help you lead from your truth and build a life and business that you were here, that you were born to do, your soul's mission. In this series, this is our Rise and Align series, where we get to work with our mind, our body, and our soul, and we get to blend it all together. And so in today's episode, in today's video, we are diving into a truth that many avoid. And so I want to bring it forward for you. I want to hopefully spin this a little bit differently, maybe than you have heard it before, or remind you if maybe you have. If you are wanting to evolve into the next version of you, if you're wanting to step into the next version of you, then we want to make sure that we have all of our power, right? That we have all of our strength. And it is really hard if we don't fully have our power. So I want to talk about what I mean by that idea of fully having your power. And by the end of this video, not only will you be able to understand why this happens and how to reclaim your energy, we're also going to do our somatic breath work, where we're going to clear the attachments and return to center and call our sacred power back home. So if you're in for the journey with me, then let's dive in. If you're here just for the breath work, then you can click it down below in the description. I've got a link to that. If you're catching this on the podcast, come on over to the YouTube channel so you can get that breath work. Okay. Why does this matter? This is something that I think sometimes we don't fully maybe understand. I didn't understand for a long time that there were things that I was attached to, that a version of me was attached to, that was kind of stealing my energy away. So if you are stuck in some of those old cycles, the old stories, or the relationships, it's going to be really hard for us to step up and step out. Many of the women that I work with are high achieving spiritual women. And intellectually, in the mind, they know what they want. But energetically, they still have power that has been leaked, right? Power that is leaking or stuck or trapped in the past. So here, right, we're going to reclaim our energy that we may have unconsciously left behind. And if you are feeling stuck or exhausted, a lot of the times it's like, I'm getting my sleep, I'm doing all the things, but I wake up exhausted. You might still have some power that is stuck in the past. Or, my friend, if you are somebody that's like, I'm put a little spin on this for you. If you're somebody that's like, hey, I already have like cleared up my leaks. I'm really working on staying in my power, but there's just this area that I really wish I was more confident in, or that I really could hold better. We can bring some energy in. And so I'm going to tell you how we can do that today as well. So what are we talking about here? Power, or our strength, or our sovereignty, can get trapped in unresolved concerns, unresolved versions of ourselves. So, what do I mean by that? The version of you that people pleased to stay safe, the version of you who failed and never forgave herself for failing, the part of you that is still carrying a family expectation or a family belief. This can show up for you in over explaining. Oh, I need to explain why I'm doing X, Y, or Z now. Or I need to prove to you that what I'm doing is right. Right. Fear of being seen, visibility, right? Not wanting to show up on social media or show up at events, whether those are online events or virtual events, not wanting people to see you. This can also come through the overthinking, the chronic overthinking, where we're overthinking, did I say the right thing? Or I should have done this. Or what about this? Or is this happening? Or is it this? Or is this, can I trust this person? Can I not trust this person? Is this person being malicious to me? Are they not being malicious to me? Are they trying to be my friend? Is there something that, like, all the thoughts, right? Avoidance. I talked a lot about this in some past Rise and Align, but there's the avoidance idea. We are avoiding taking action. I like to call it productive procrastination, right? We think we're being productive. We think that we are moving the needle, so to speak, forward, but we're actually not, right? We're in action, but it is actually avoidance. So, when your energy is stuck in the past, your nervous system is going to resist the momentum because it doesn't feel safe. I've talked about this before. So, what can we do? How can we shift this? Because, my friend, if you are overthinking something, if there's something that has happened, whether that's at work, with a family, with a client, with a friend, with your child, something that has happened that you keep replaying or you're stuck in, right? You keep looping, or a pattern that you keep looping in, that version of you, okay, that version of you who went through this situation is like, you can imagine it this way. This is how I imagine, is that version of me is like sitting in that time and place where this situation took place, right? For me recently, there was a situation that, and it was around like a dinner table, and that version of me, like if I stay stuck in the situation, right? If I keep replaying what was said, or I keep talking to people about it, and I want to be clear here. When I say that, I'm not saying that we don't need to process the information. We all have our own way of processing information. Some of us are external processors, and we need to talk it out with people. That's why there's people like me, there's therapists, there's counselors that you can go to where you can talk this out and they can help you come up with what strategies might be best for you. I like to say this, as my clients say this all the time to me, and they're like, I'm so sorry, I just vomited everything. And I was like, no, that's exactly what you need to do. We need to get it all out. We need to put it on the table so that we can start to go through it and figure out what is actually going on. How are we feeling about something? What are the steps we want to take after this? What are the strategies, right? But we've got to figure out, like, we got to get it all out, or else, in the example I just said about myself, if I if I was sitting at the table and this situation happens and I'm stuck in it, that version of me, I imagine that that version of me is still at that table. And she's looking, right, at all the people. She's listening to everything that happened. She's replaying it, and she's like reliving it. And if you're constantly reliving this, this is why you might feel tired, my friend, where you're like, I got enough sleep. Danny, I slept 8 hours. I slept 10 hours. Doesn't mean just because you slept 8 hours or you slept 10 hours that you actually slept, that your body actually relaxed, that your body actually was able to restore, which is what sleep does for us, right? So, if that version of you, like if you had something that's happened to you, and that version of you, I want you to imagine that that version of you is still there. They are still there. They haven't stepped up from the table and walked out the door yet, even though you physically did that. They have not done that. That version of you. So we need to go to that version of ourselves and say, hey, my friend, we're moving on from this. And whatever needs to happen for that version of you to be able to release its connection to stand up from that table and walk out that door. That is what we do when we start to reclaim parts of ourselves and reclaim our power. Because if my energy, I want you to think about this, my friend, if my energy, if there's a version of me that is stuck at this dinner table, that is stuck at the supermarket, that is stuck at a networking event, can you imagine all those versions of me stuck where they are, replaying these scenarios? Do you think it would be hard for me to concentrate on the work that I have to do here right now? Do you think it would be difficult for me to want to create content? Do you think it would be difficult for me to show up fully for my clients? Do you think it would be difficult for me to have new ideas? It would be very difficult because I'm in all of these other places energetically. Even though I know that I'm headed this way, I know that I want to achieve this thing. I know the actions that I need to do to achieve them, but I'm not doing them. And even if I am doing them, my friend, let's say I do sit down to record an episode or create a video or do a breath work, I still am not fully in my power because I have let my power leak in to these spaces or stay in these spaces. So, how do we reclaim our power? How do we call it back? Well, I've mentioned already, we want to first figure out, which is why my clients say that they throw up. And it's literally what they are vomiting everything that is going on in their head about this thing. And I talked about this on my stories the other day. So if you follow me on Instagram, I talked about this on my stories and I'm going to create a reel from that. But it's this idea of all the stuff gets put out, meaning all of the fact and all of the stories, which generally the stories come from emotion. So all of this gets put out. This is why we brain dump, right? You've heard that concept before. We want to brain dump our to-do list, right? It's the same idea with a situation. I want to brain dump. I want to get everything out on the table so that I can look at it, I can analyze it, I can create maybe sometimes a new story around it. I can start to understand how I truly feel about something. When it's all jumbled up in here and when it's all in the body, like even sometimes, after my clients will just like kind of get everything out, right? They'll do like a, that is the body like, oh, they're like already starting to release it, right? Just by simply getting it out. Now, if you don't have somebody that you can go to talk about some of these things, because I know, my friend, I have clients who have the best of friends. I have clients who have business coaches. I have clients who are in other communities. I have clients who have great relationships with their mom or their sister, but yet they still can't have this conversation with them. Although they would love to be able to, although their friends give them great advice and have great perspectives on things, they still are not able, even their spouse. Sometimes you're not able to talk to your spouse about this, especially when it relates to the entrepreneurial space. And if they are not in the entrepreneurial space, they don't get it, right? It's a lot harder. And so they get it out and then they're able to, we're together, right? Able to shift, not shift, but what's the word? Swift move, shift. I think that's what it is. Shift through all of the information so that we can see what is actually there, right? And we can pull out certain things and be like, oh, yeah, that we don't need anymore, right? And oh, that's a story that I'm baking up about something, right? So if you have somebody that you can do that, obviously that's going to be my number one recommendation is to get it out. And if you have somebody that can help you that is unbiased, right? Because our friends and family, they can be very biased, but who is unbiased, who can give you some insights, then like that would be my first thing. Now, if you don't have somebody that you can do that with yet, then what I would recommend is writing it out, right? Or talking it into a voice recorder. A lot of the times, like my clients will get their apps, like we use between our sessions Voxer. And I tell them if something has happened, then grab Voxer, open it up, and send me a message and just talk it out, right? Just say it out. Say all the things that you need to say just to get it out. So sometimes just that voice recording is going to be a lot. I do this with, I have a really good friend and we Voxer each other all the time. And it's like, okay, she's an external processor. And so she's like, talks everything out. And then at the end of her message, which is like probably 15 minutes long, she's like, I'm so sorry. Like, but thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to me external process. And if you see anything, and I always tell her this too, if you see anything that I said in there that I should be aware of, please bring that back to me. And it's something that you can just record yourself and just kind of get that stuff out. And then I would ask you to filter through it, to shift through it, and just see like what's story, what's logic, what's fact, like how do you feel about this thing now that you've gotten everything out? What is this actually about? Like what's actually the emotion that you're feeling about this thing? And it's much easier once you can get all of the fact out and you can think about, and this is what I do is I think about like what's the future? Like what do I want, right? Do I want to, after kind of sifting through all of this, do I want to continue with this relationship or do I want to participate in this? Do I want to continue to participate in this or not? Like, does this feel good to me or does it not? And just kind of get to that point so that I can really look at that. And when I've done that, that version of me already starts to like get up off the table. Like she's already starting to be like, oh, right? Where she's like becomes aware almost as if like, oh, okay, like I'm stuck here, right? And so then things like, going into the Akashic Records can also assist with this, or even just sitting, my friend, in a meditation and connecting with that version of yourself. Like after, this is again step two, right? First, we want to get all the stuff out. Now we want to shift through sift, that's the word, sift through everything just to kind of see how we start to feel about this thing. Then now let's connect with that version of ourselves and let's see, this is in our sacred healing spiral. So the step one is awareness, and that's what we've done. After we've gotten everything out, we start to become aware of what is happening, what is going on. There's an understanding component that really we want to know. Why am I thinking this? Why am I feeling this? And as you sift through all of the information, you'll start to gather, right? And you ask yourself questions. Why do I feel this way? Or why did this bother me? Or what is this really about? It's not about what they said. It's not about this. It's what this made me, how this made me feel, or what this reminded me this of, or what this brought up within me, and how this might be connected to a pattern I have or an experience I've had in the past. That's what it's bringing up for me, right? Which is exactly, what we want to do. We want to see where this is connected and get a deeper understanding. Then it's time to do my favorite thing, which is forgiveness. And the way I approach forgiveness might be slightly different than the way others approach forgiveness. I don't forgive just to forgive, right? I don't believe, first off, in forgiving and forgetting. I do believe that we can forgive and we will not forget. But the key the key here, my friend, is to shift our energy around that experience so that it no longer stings. It no longer holds the same energy that it did when it happened, right? It's no longer triggering. It's no longer frustrating. It's no longer pushes us into a state of anxiety or fear or whatever it might be. We shift it, and that's what this process does, right? We shift it so that we can move through. And in that forgiveness, we are cutting cords. So you might have heard cutting energetic cords with people. And this is what we're doing through the forgiveness is we are cutting cords that are attached, right, to us that are not healthy. These are unhealthy attachments. And so we want to clear those out. Okay. Then what happens is we start to get into a different place. Okay, I'm feeling different about this experience. I'm starting to shift the energy. It doesn't feel as strong, maybe as it once did. We start to shift it. And then we step into forgiveness of self. So sometimes you can start with forgiveness of self and then forgiveness of others. And remember, forgiveness is not that you are accepting the thing. Forgiveness is not that you're acknowledging that and agreeing with what happened. Forgiveness is just an awareness for yourself. So I like to use the Ho'oponopono prayer, and I use it slightly different than probably what's been taught out there. And that is, the idea is I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. And I'm going to look at, I love that you are passionate about what you're doing. And I love that right? Because whatever this thing is, there's a reason why they did this, right? There's something behind them, or I love maybe, and maybe it's not that version of them that you love. Maybe it's the version of them from the past, like a version of them when you first met, a version of them that there's a memory that you have with them that was just so joyful. And you can say, like, I love that you're passionate about what you do. I love that you fought for what you believed. Now, whether I agree with it or not is not the story, but I love that you're passionate about something and that you fought for it. I love that, right? Again, I'm not saying I agree with it. Then I'm sorry. So I'm sorry that we could not come to an agreement on this. I'm sorry that we don't have the same viewpoints or we don't have the same energetic frequencies. I'm sorry that we are not able to come to a resolution on this, right? If that's the case, right? I'm sorry that you felt this was something that you needed to do. I'm sorry that you felt you couldn't come talk to me. I'm sorry, like all the things that I'm sorry about. Not I'm sorry that I did X, Y, and Z, or that you did X, Y, and Z, right? I'm sorry that this is what it came to. I'm sorry that we had to get to this place. I'm sorry that we all had to experience this. And then please forgive me. Please forgive me for not saying something sooner. Please forgive me for not saying what I should have said weeks ago. Please forgive me for no longer allowing myself to show up in this way, right? I am I am simply saying like, hey, I've realized that in every interaction, my friend, I firmly believe there are two or more people. It's not just one person. As much as I would like to pin certain things on certain people and be like, it was their fault, right? I also have to look at myself and say, what, how did I participate in this? How did I participate in this? Did I allow myself, did I step in, right? Did I see something that I could have stepped in sooner to help with, right? Or maybe I felt it wasn't my place. And so maybe please forgive me for not realizing that I did have a voice in this. right? I'm not saying that I did anything wrong. I'm saying like I can recognize where I might have done something different. And that's really how I like to approach it. So I'm not necessarily forgiving the person and saying what you did was okay. I'm saying like there's all of this around it. And the minute that I start doing that, my friend, I start looking for all these different ways and I guide my clients through this. They're like, wow, yeah. You know what? I feel so different about this. I feel so different about the people. I feel different about the situation. And I can let it go, which is the final step in the sacred spiral healing or the, yeah. Sometimes I get that wrong. That is the final step is letting go and moving forward and choosing how you now decide to move forward. And so when we've reclaimed that version of ourself, that version of ourself is can breathe, right? Can shift the energy around this thing. We can bring them back. We can bring them back with us. We can bring our power back and fully be like, I've now reclaimed my power. I've reclaimed what was stuck in the past because I don't have the same energy around it. I'm not letting this other person, quote unquote, win. I am saying, I have a different perspective on this. I am choosing something different. I am not going to let myself get stuck here. I'm ready to move forward, but I can't move forward until I've done these other things. Because if I haven't shifted my energy around this, I'm just going to be like, oh, yeah, I've moved forward. But have you really, my friend? Have you really? Because if you're still thinking about it, if you're still stuck in it, if you still encounter this person and you start to feel a certain way, you have not moved forward. Or somebody brings something up and you start in on it again, you have not moved forward. So, my invitation to you is to look at where you might have leaked energy, where your versions, there are versions of you who are stuck in the past, who are trapped there, who are ready to let go and reclaim your power to the here and to the now. Now, once you do this, I'm always going to invite you because we've shifted it in the mental level, we've shifted it most likely on the energetic level, but now we're going to shift it in the body. And that is where we bring in the breath work. So, in just a moment, we are going to move into a breath work where I'm going to invite you to release any unhealthy attachments. I'm going to invite you to release anything that you might be connected to, any of the stories that you might be connected to, and to truly reclaim your power. Now, before we do that, I also want to let you know because sometimes reclaiming our power is actually reclaiming our power from past experiences in other lifetimes. So there might be times where you are connected to a similar situation. Maybe as I said earlier with my example of sitting down at that dinner table, there might be situations that my soul has encountered in the past very similar to that one that I can also release from past experiences. Or on the flip side of this, if I want to show up more confidently, maybe in a particular area, and I'm struggling with this, and I've done the work, and I don't have any unhealthy attachments to this, I can bring forward from past lifetimes other strengths that I've had. If you are wanting to be a better speaker, we can look and see where in your past lives, past experiences from other lifetimes where you were a really great speaker. And that doesn't mean that you were necessarily on stage. Maybe you were very influential in your community or in your family where you were able to just say things off the top of your head and just flow with it so beautifully. Let's bring that forward into this lifetime. So that is another really beautiful thing that we can do in our work together is bringing things from the past. This is one of the reasons why I love the Akashic Records, and I use the Akashic Records in my work is because we can do that. We can bring these experiences, these skills that we have had in other lifetimes and bring them into this lifetime. All right, my friend, let's go ahead and get ready for our breath work today. So I'm going to invite you to just get into a comfortable position where you can just relax for a moment. If you'd like to lie down, feel free to lie down. If you are sitting, just relax into your space. Take a nice deep breath in and close your eyes, allowing yourself to come into this time, to this place, to this moment, right here, right now, bringing all of you here. Your mental body, your physical body, your emotional body, your ego, your spiritual body, and your inner child. And you may sense, feel, or imagine them around you, or maybe you're sitting in a circle together. Here, now, focused, present, and allowing your grounding cord or your roots to drop down into Mother Earth, feeling that connection, feeling her energy of love, of support, of comfort, of nurturing, that really supportive energy, grounding you here. And you may even start to become aware of any physical sensations in your body. Any emotion or emotions that are present. And any stories that may be playing in the back of your mind. Just becoming aware of them now. And just maybe even tap in and see how might these be connected. The physical sensations, the emotion, and the stories. Is there a connection? Are they somehow connected? Shifting that awareness now to the top of your head, to your crown. As we begin to open up our crown and connect in with God our Father, the great I am, the divine source creation universe. And just feeling that energy begin to flow in through your crown, your connection You might begin receiving information. And we call upon God our Father, the great I am, the divine source, creation, universe, and we ask for your guidance, your support, your love, and protection. As we call our power back, as we reclaim what is ours, and bringing all of our power to the here, to the now. We call upon our guides, our guardians, our spirit team. We invite you into our day today, into our session today, into guiding and supporting us and helping us unlock the things that may be blocking us, to be able to see any unhealthy attachments that we are connected to, or versions of ourselves that are stuck in the past. We ask for you to bring this into our consciousness, into our awareness, and help us sift through and to release. We call upon the guardians at the watchtowers and the four archangels, Raphael, Gabriel, Michael, and Uriel. We ask for your guidance, your support, and your protection. We call upon the four elements and the four directions, and we ask for you to be within our thoughts, within our words, within our actions, and within our emotions as we move through and release. And we call on any high vibrational ancestors of love and light, and any spirit animals that are here to work with us at the most highest frequency. And we ask for you to be here with us, to show us anything that may be stuck, that may be connected to an ancestral pattern, or that may be stuck to a current habit or practice that we can release today. I'm so blessed and so honored. And we together thank you for your presence. Thank you for your insights. Thank you for your light. And thank you for your love. And we ask for this or greater. And so it is. And take a nice deep breath in. Letting it go. Once again. And letting it go. Beautiful. I want you to imagine, sense, feel your consciousness dropping down into your heart space. And in this heart space, your sacred space, the seat of your soul, you may sense, feel, or imagine a mirror. And this mirror is here to show you any connections, any cords, any attachments to anything that you may be holding on to. Any versions of you that are still holding on to a story, to a situation that is not for your greatest and highest good. And take a nice deep breath in. And I want you to just place your hand on this mirror. And as you do, you'll see the reflection shift. Again, you may sense this, feel this, imagine this, or just know that it's happening. And you'll start to begin to see attachments, connections that are not serving your greatest and highest good. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you to shift your breathing to in through your mouth, out through the mouth. And this is your opportunity to use that breath to clear those attachments out, to disconnect from them. Take a nice deep breath in. Let it go. All right, let's begin. Deep breaths in through the mouth, out through the mouth, deep into the belly, finding your own rhythm. What version of you is still holding your power? Breathe in and identify where your power is stuck in the past. What moment, what story, what thought, what belief is still living in your body unprocessed? Use your breath and allow yourself to move through this, to release from the body, to process and to let go. Doesn't want to move through sound, doesn't want to move through movement. Let it move through you. Clear it out. Let it go. We're almost there, my friend. We've got about another minute. Keep going. You're doing so good. Keep clearing. Keep releasing. Keep processing. Good, my friend. Keep going. We're almost there. 30 more seconds. Beautiful, my friend. Take a nice deep breath in. Letting it go. Let's do that once again. Letting it go. On this next one, nice, deep, big breath up from the earth. Holding it at the top. And allow yourself to begin to feel your body, to feel at home, and to notice the space that you've just created by letting go. You don't have to stay stuck in these places. You can let go. When you're ready to release that breath, releasing the breath, shifting your breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And as you inhale, you might say softly to yourself or within your mind's eye, I am safe. I am here. I am safe. I am here. I am safe. I am here. I bring myself fully and completely to the present, to the now. And with each breath, I want you to sense, feel, or imagine your energy coming back from past timelines, from past experiences. Calling all of your power to the here, to the now, as you slow your breath down and you feel it even more. Really elongating those breaths. And every breath drawing in your strength, your power. Deciding what you now choose. Welcoming back all the parts of you that were stuck, that are now here, bringing all of their energy, their strength, and their power to the present. Feel your power begin to increase. Feel your strength begin to amplify. Feel your sovereignty fully and completely here now. You are whole. You are home. You are powerful. And as we get ready to move into our next breath hold, I want you to take a nice deep breath in, feeling that power, feeling yourself home. Let's do that once again. On this next breath in, nice deep breath into your heart. And as you let it go fully and completely, becoming empty, holding it out, and just feeling that energy in your heart. When you're ready to take that next breath in, breathe in gratitude. And if you're being called to place a hand on your heart, or maybe even both hands, and just feeling into the gratitude of your past self, and just telling them how much you love them. For who they are, what they allowed for you to now be here, welcoming them back home, feeling that gratitude for having them here now. With a different perspective, feeling more into your power and just feeling gratitude for that. Gratitude for your power, gratitude for your strength, gratitude for your sovereignty. Just gratitude for this life and the opportunities that you are given, the opportunities that are all around you, the opportunities that are waiting for you and are available now. Just gratitude for being able to reclaim your power here. I want you to begin to feel that fully and completely. And ask yourself, how do I now choose to live in this power, to live in this strength, to be the most powerful version of myself? Feel what it's like to be here, right here in your body, right here in your power, right here in your sovereignty. My friend, you just created space for your truth of who you are and who you are rising into. Your power is never lost, my friend. It is always waiting for you to reclaim it. And when you do, the future you, the you have been dreaming about, the you who you are connecting to now, you are no longer pulling the pieces of yourself. You are her. You are here. You are now. Now, as we begin to wrap up our time together, bringing in all the awareness, all the ahas, all the insights, whatever it is that you've now decided for yourself, holding on to those, locking into those so that you can remember them. You're being called to open your eyes and grab your journal. Feel free to grab your journal and take some time to write these things down. I would love to know if today's practice resonated with you, to share in the comments. What part of you did you reclaim? What are you now choosing? Let us know. Let us witness each other in this reclamation. Now, my friend, these shifts are powerful. And what's even more powerful is integrating them. That's where the real work begins. And so if you are tired of navigating that alone, if you are looking for somebody to support you, my friend, if you are sensing that there is more to uncover, more to heal, or more of you to remember, I invite you to take the next step and book that inner authority call with me. It is the next step in this healing journey. This is a sacred space where you and I get together and we tune into your energy. We explore what's driving your decisions, your actions, and gently uncover what's hidden, what's old conditioning, what's ancestral, and what pieces are ready to shift back into power, into place, into clarity. Your intuition is spot on. Your truth is here, and your next level is waiting. And I would love to help you honor that. I would love to help you honor her. So, my friend, if you are looking for that support, you can find a link down in the description box. I'd love, love, love to guide you. And as we come to an end, my friend, remember there's nowhere to go but through. And that starts with returning and reclaiming all parts of you. Until next time, my friend, remember to keep shining your unique light.